Hello, my friends. SAmaryllis here to play a game that does not have a name. It's a game that one of my friends made in a class with some others, so it's more of like a work in progress MVP kind of thing. It is a procedurally generated game. Oh, yes, there we go. And you move with the WASD keys, which I am doing right now. And I think I just murdered that mushroom. I murdered that tree maybe also as well just now. And I think the goal of this game is really to pick up loot and just go to the next level. So my friend, I think, did all the artwork for this game. I really like this color scheme, kind of like a purpley brown vibe. I'm just destroying trees and picking up mushrooms right now. I don't know if that's what that means by loot, but it says I have health and a high of 0. I don't know. Oh, there's a chest, I think. I do like this color scheme. I opened it, but I don't know. Oh, my health went up to 13. It was 12 out of 12 before. So it sounds like there were enemies planned for this game. My health went up to 13 out of 13. I'm not sure why. But that team was unfortunately not able to finish. Ooh, there's a little thing over there on the side. Looks kind of like a slime. That team was not able to finish, so I think this game is more about just procedural generation. There's a dog outside. Hopefully it is not too disruptive. And what I was going to say is that this color scheme reminds me of the game The Lion Song, which is available on Steam and I think also on Epic Game Store. It's actually free this upcoming week when I'm recording this, which is in early May. So if you're also watching this in early May, you might be able to pick that game up for free on the Epic Game Store, since that is the upcoming free weekly game. I don't know anything about procedurally generated games. I know that games like No Man's Sky was one like that too. Oh, this level was a dead end, I guess. So I don't know if that means my game is over. Oh no, that's where I came from? Yeah, that's what that means. Okay. Ooh, loading level. And No Man's Sky was hyped up to be a procedurally generated game, which was... Ooh, maybe that is an enemy. The enemy team maybe did finish? I'm not sure. I'm gonna run into it and see if I die. I ran into it, nothing happened. My health did not go down. So, unclear what happened there. I guess a lot of roguelikes and roguelites are procedurally generated too, if they're not like custom made or handcrafted levels. Okay, my health went up to 15 just now. I'm keeping an eye on it to see how it regens. Still at 13. If I eat a mushroom, does it regen? No. So I'm not really sure what determines how my health regens. Maybe if I open another chest or go back a level. Okay, it's not if I go back a level. Oh, that just goes up to another floor. Or the previous floor, which could be a different room. Interesting. So my health is still at 15. I wonder if I have to like get another chest to get there. I'm loading a level. So I think that's probably the extent of the game here. My high is 3. I think that's just the number of levels I've explored or how far down I've gone. So since it was a class project, this is pretty much the game. It does have like an element from, what's that game, like Crypt of the Necrodancer? Is that the one that like you can, like you move to the beat, and then if you don't move to the beat, you lose your combo? I have a coworker who has played that game and streamed it for us, so I know a little bit about what that is like. There is, oh, and then obviously like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon too is a little bit of a twist on that because the enemies only move when you move, so you can like spend as long as you want thinking about what your next move is. And that there is a mode in Crypt of the Necrodancer that does that too. So I do think it is an interesting mechanic because it lets you think about what you want to do and like the different ranges that different enemy attacks have and your attacks. I think Crypt of a Necrodancer does really interesting things there with that, since you have to start memorizing what different enemies do and their range attacks, how they move, how often they move, which I think is quite an intriguing topic. Okay, let's look at my health. It's still at 13. If I open this chest, okay, my health just continued going up, 13 out of 18. So I'm not really sure how the health mechanic works. So that would be something I'm interested in seeing. But yeah, other than that, I don't usually play too many of these types of games, like roguelikes or roguelites, where like the purpose of the game is to have many runs and the expectation is to die. Yeah, my health just went up to 18, but I'm at 14 out of 18 health now, so I'm really not sure what causes my health to regen. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm the type of person who's only ever played games in a very like precious manner, like always trying to optimize it. Like in Fire Emblem, when I play, if any of my characters die because I wasn't paying attention or something like that, I'm the type of person who always resets the entire chapter. Health went up to 20 max. So I only very recently started playing roguelites in the form of Risk of Rain 2. I never played Risk of Rain 1, but I had some coworkers who were playing Risk of Rain 2 while I was in early access, and I ended up buying it, and I really, really like it because like the item builds make everything very fun. So I don't know if I have very much insight in terms of like this kind of game mode. Like what improvements I would like to see. I did play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I only played one of the first versions. I guess it was Red or Blue. I don't know if that's what it was called. And I like the mechanics where you can switch out partners. Like when you move a space, the enemy moves a space. Having to keep in mind different types of attacks. And I mean, like Crypt of the Necrodancer does something similar too, but you're able to choose that instead of like swapping characters. You're able to choose different weapons. And magic too, like some of the magic has interesting effects where like you actually, I'm not really sure how it works. I've only watched my coworker play a Crypt of the Necrodancer a couple times, so I'm not the most familiar with all of its mechanics. But there is like sacrifices you can make where I guess one of them is like you get money throughout the dungeon, but you could use the money to like buy power-ups or things like that, but then that impacts your final score at the end. So you don't want to buy too many items. I guess like Spelunky is probably another game that's kind of similar in this genre, but I've never played Spelunky. I've only seen a couple clips of it, so don't have too much to add there. So overall, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have too much to say, but good work on even completing a game, which is very difficult as someone who works in software development. Feels like a miracle that any game can ship. So I'm very impressed that this was able to be a final product. Even if there's a couple unfinished features, there's still a pretty clear goal of like collecting chests and exploring levels. And I guess getting more powerful as well with the HP. There was something interesting that I read from Game Maker's Toolkit, which is a YouTube channel. I recently started watching them about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, where they said a recent game that they've played didn't have any sort of pressure, like time pressure or other incentive pressure on like not exploring every nook and cranny. And then that kind of translates the game into more of an optimization game rather than like a, you know, play what you can kind of game, which might make it a bit more of a chore, which I thought was quite an interesting take. So that might be a sort of mechanic to explore here. Like in Risk of Rain 2, the longer you play on a level, the harder the difficulty is. Like difficulty increases over time. I don't think there's such a penalty for Pokemon Mystery Dungeons. I guess it's like if the longer you stay, the more damage you might take from enemies that you fight with. So that's kind of the motivation. And then if you run out of food, which is like your healing items in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, then you faint and fail the mission. So I guess perhaps, and I know in Spelunky, a ghost starts chasing you. I only know this because of Game Maker's Toolkit, I'll be honest. Because I haven't played Spelunky. Yeah, my health is increasing and I don't know how or why. Maybe it's by like percentage of my max health, I don't know. But that could be an interesting next mechanic for this type of game, to make sure that there's some sort of time pressure so you don't actually just stay and wander and try and collect all the loot possible there. But it is also, I know it's the point, but it does feel a little bit tiresome to always have to press every arrow key that I want when I want to move. So if there could be some sort of auto move functionality, that might be nice. I think in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, there is a mode where like you can have your character automatically move towards the next enemy or something like that. I don't know. It's been a long time since I played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, which I think could be interesting. Or a way of like, if you hold down the arrow, it like just geets you that direction, which of course like has its downsides of, well, like maybe you move an extra turn of time than you mean to, but for me, I think that would be cool. Because otherwise you constantly just have to be clicking the arrow keys and it can get a little tiresome. And yeah, I'm clearly very turned around here. I'm not sure where I've been and where I haven't gone with all these portals, but maybe that's the point of the game. It might be nice, you know what, it actually might be nice to have like the number of the stage show somewhere on the UI. I know it says like the high, which I'm assuming is like the most number of levels deep that I've gone, but it doesn't indicate to me like what level I'm currently at. So because this does involve, there is some mechanic here that involves the player going back up to a previous level. A previous floor, shall I say, because there are multiple rooms per floor and that you get to by going up those little holes, I guess, that are indicating that you can go back up to a previous floor, even if it's not to the actual room that you were in previously. I think that would be helpful and kind of could help players more plan, like, oh, I remember seeing on the side of the screen that there was like another room with a chest in it. That they could then remember that like, okay, that was on floor 10, I'm currently on floor 11, I want to go to the right on the next floor down and then go back up to then get to that floor. So that could be cool. Some sort of, I know there's no music or sound in this game because of course it's just, you know, like a, oh, what's that called? Is it hackathon? It's not really a hackathon because this wasn't done over the course of a night, but like, you get the idea, like kind of that kind of proof of concept product. It would be cool if there were sound cues that could help alert you to like a treasure chest that's off screen, even if it, or even like outside of the room that you're in. So then it could kind of let you know that like, oh, I should head over to the left to see like what's in the separate room to the left. And then you can start planning from there, like, oh, okay, well, I have to go down a level or go back up a level to try and find different stairs. I think that could be interesting as well. Right now, the only way I know that I'm actually descending to a new level is when this loading screen appears, so that is that. All right. Well, those are probably all my initial thoughts on that. Cobalt, I'll let you know if I think of anything else, but since I'm not a game designer and I also don't usually play these types of games, I'm afraid I don't really have too much other insight on what could make this game interesting. But it was really cool to be able to see a product like this, and very cool that y'all were able to finish this in the amount of time that you had. So good work. I'm SAmaryllis. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye bye.